Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel where we review anything and everything. And today we are reviewing, it's a double review actually, of two Star Wars Mission Fleet sets. One is of one of the smaller sets on your right hand side, and this is of the Mandalorian Trooper. Let me just throw the box art in real quick in front. The Mandalorian Trooper, and I'll get back to that in a moment with more detail, with going into more details with that. Oh, and I'm all over the place. And over here, this big set is known as the Gauntlet Starfighter, you can see here. Now, both of these sets are inspired by the Mandalorian TV show, which right now, currently as I'm recording this video, is on season 3, which actually this character, Bo-Katan, and the Gauntlet Starfighter, or sometimes people will call it the Mandalorian Starfighter or Starfighter ship. But anyway, it has a lot of presence inside the show. So anybody who might be getting into the show now, even though I'm sorry to say that the Mission Fleet line is discontinued currently, but people might actually be interested in maybe trying to pick one of these up while you still can, because the truth is there aren't a lot of ways to grab one of these. I would say one of the only other ways, I think that they might be in a micro machines type of micro line. And then if you want something a little bit bigger in scale, there's Lego, which is very expensive, probably pushing more than 50 or 60, $70 for their version of this. Well, here, this actually will run you $20 or less. That was the price when it first came out. That was around the price that I paid. I think I paid somewhere around between 15 and 20. And I think it's still going for that price range now. So let's just jump into the review. I'm going to go back into showing you the boxes real quick and the detail. The box art, I think, is great. It gives you a sense of, the characters and whatnot. Right here, we go into, this is Mandalorian Trooper, just a generic trooper. What's cool about his jetpack that he comes with is it's actually the same design as this ship, just flipped upside down. So if I was to take this, put the wings like that, you see they're actually the exact same design. So that's a little cool thing right there that they do with that. You see he comes with 2 guns. He comes with a little mini shield because inside the show, they would be able to project the energy shield on their wrist, so it would clip onto his wrist, and he's got a jetpack. She has all the same weapons, so I'm not going to go into them, other than that she has a cannon, which by now, if you're familiar with the set, they all come with a cannon, all the ships, and they clip onto these holes right here, and you got holes right here when these wings are down. I'll get into that set in a moment. So obviously, here was him. I'm not going to clip all of the items and weapons on him, but just show you how the jetpack fits on him. It fits on him like that. And obviously, like I said, it's to look like the ship. So it's got little rockets on it that actually face the opposite way from where he would be flying. But nonetheless, yeah, obviously you see inside the box art, that's how he would be positioned. But nonetheless, it's still a cool concept. And, but if you want to be traditional, obviously, you know that these guys always have the Mandalorian lore. They always have jetpacks on them. So, they would have his small mini jetpack. Now going into this character, Bo-Katan. Let me pull up the box art of this one. I know it's a little bit harder to see it all, get it all into frame. You see the box art looks really nice. So it shows you about, I'm sorry about the tight angle of everything. This shows you some of the features, what it does. It goes into landing mode, then it goes into flight mode. So that's how that goes. And here we go. So you got the measurements here, 7.4 inches by 7.2 inches. So this is almost as wide as it is long. The weapons here, obviously, I'm not going to go over them again because they're the same ones as you had in the other figure, Mandalorian Trooper. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting other characters' names. That's really about it for this, for the box art and everything like that you get to see here. I think it looks really nice. And let's just jump into the review of the ship. So this ship actually has a lot of articulation going on with it. First off, the wings come down, so it could be in its flight mode. It also has, when it's in its flight mode, it's not just in that mode. It's able to go like this, because in the show, you'll see that it's able to do that. And that is how it goes into, I don't know if that's some kind of attack mode or whatever the case is, but it's another option for when it's in flight. It also has the landing gear here, which I'm not going to try to get out because I don't have the nails to get it. So I'm going to leave that as is. And obviously when it comes down for landing, these wings come up and it lands like that. Now, let me open this up real quick because we're going to get ready to get into that. First, let me just show the interior of it. And get some light on here. Okay, you could see here a lot of details in the interior, just like all their ships. And let me bring this down so that way you guys can see it a little better. And I just think it's really nice that they're able to put all that in there for like 20 bucks or less. It's really good. And this is Bo-Katan. She's a very known, well character. Like I said, she makes an appearance in season 2 of The Mandalorian. She made a big appearance in the Clone Wars anime, and she is now a really big character in season 3 of The Mandalorian, which is very cool. And you see a lot of her ship because of that. So, you know, a lot of people who are watching the show are probably very interested and probably trying to pick up the character at this point. This is an option. Now, let me squeeze her inside here just so you guys can see how she fits. And as I said in previous videos, oops, let me get in here. Sometimes certain figures, you gotta kind of let them have a more lean back position for them to really fit. And that's the case with her. There you go. Now, as I mentioned in previous, you can see the details here, the boosters and whatnot. As I mentioned in previous videos of reviewing the line, I like the scale of this because this, first off, you would not really find any other product line that's going to have ships that, you know, you're going to be able to have decent sized ships while still having decent sized figures. Otherwise, if the ship is like really decent size, the figure in comparison is probably like that small, and no one wants to play with figures like that, you know, especially if you're getting them for little kids. What I like about this line is that in the scale of it is that the ship is scaled to itself in the proportions of itself, but then the cockpit in the interior will be scaled to the 2.5-inch figure. So that kind of gives you a lot of playability where you can still play it, feel like you have a decent sized ship while still accommodating that the figure can get inside it. Now, granted, you can't fit in these smaller ships a lot of multiple characters. You can only fit one person. You know, you could always have the mentality of your imagination that you pretend you have more people going in there, but at least you're able to fit somebody inside there. And this one in the series actually would hold four individuals to ride inside the interior of the ship. In this case, you only fit one, but it's still a decent sized ship. From the outside of it, you can see how it scales. If he stands next to it, it still looks like a pretty big ship, you know, relative to him, you know. So it's not, the scaling, I think, is something that works very well compared to some of the other options you have. You know, you have things like Legos. You may not be able to play with the Lego figures the same way, you know, because these guys are a little more articulating. You could put the weapon inside their hand. Not that you can't with Legos, but you get the idea. It's a little bit bigger of a scale while still being able to do ships and whatnot and vehicles. Now, the 3.7-inch line tries to be exactly within scale to the 3.7-inch figures. The problem with that, nothing against the line, I'm not knocking the line, but that the ships start to become really big and really pricey. So what you get for these is really great. I just wanted to make note of that. And that pretty much wraps up our review. So if you guys have any thoughts or whatever the case is, you can post any comments, any questions inside the comment section. But you guys have a good day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. All right.